actually on YouTube. Yeah, he was probably trying to contact me to tell me we're not on YouTube, but too bad.
Yeah, that's right. When you shut him off, like, stop calling me.
So people
Okay.
that tuned in will wonder what's going on. Well, they'll
Yeah.
find out now.
Yep.
Okay, so we are on YouTube. We are on YouTube Live now, and we're just going to confirm that by our monitoring here and make sure that we're actually on live. And we ran a little late with a few technical difficulties tonight, including my brain. But here we go. Let's see. And we are on live. Mirana, there you are. Now, and we're just going to confirm that by mute our monitoring here and make sure. There we go. That was a slight overlap as we check the monitor, and in just a minute we'll be starting the show. And for those of you who tuned in at 4 o'clock, thank you so much for waiting. We are really going to start the show now with Mirana Comstock. Everybody all set? Okay. All right. Let's just note the time, please. 4:30?
4:33.
Close enough. Okay. Very good. And here we go.
Welcome to Twilight Showcase Radio, hosted by singer-songwriters Sandy Stride and Keith James from Another Midlife Crisis, featuring dynamic New England and national songwriters, engaging performances, and moving backstage interviews.
And this is Sandy Stride. Thank you so much for joining us this evening on Twilight Showcase. And tonight we have the outstanding singer-songwriter, dancer, photographer, author, etc., Renaissance woman, Mirana Comstock. Mirana, welcome back. We're so glad to see you. I would love to start it off with Afraid of Heights. Okay, we're going to do a take 2 on that song. Hang on. And thank you to John McHugh for letting us know. We did have some technical issues, including my brain, that made us start late. But we're going to get it right this time. So, all right, so we're going to take Afraid of Heights again. And no apologies necessary.
That ringing thing when I was listening, what was that about?
Yeah, that happens. Okay, you ready now? All set?
Yep.
It'll be even better this time.
Yes. Sorry.
Afraid
that was Afraid of Heights. Nice on that. And you had a little thing you wanted to let us know about that, and then I'm going to brag a little about you. Go ahead.
Just it's kind of fun playing with different rhythms, techno or deep house or hip hop, or in this case, kind of an Eastern sound that actually gave the song a totally different sound than the way it was originally written,
nice.
Which kind of like.
Yeah,
It's kind of fun.
It's a good song. I really
Thank you.
enjoy that one. So, and again, apologies going out to our Zoom audience. We did run late getting everything, all the technical stuff. You know, we're going to have slideshows. We're going to have all kinds of things, singing and dancing and books, but we got it all. I think it was the second time did the trick, you know?
Was the
Okay.
charm. Yeah.
That's right. All right. So Mirana is, as we said, a true Renaissance woman. She's got dynamic originals, and she's going to have also sing a couple of radio premieres tonight. And we are just delighted that she's going to read from her grandfather's book, but she did the editing on it. And it is called The Algonquin Round Table, 25 Years with the Legends Who Lunched. They lunched at the very famous Algonquin Hotel. That's in New York City. It was written by her grandfather, and she'll tell you later how he guided her to find it. And his name is Konrad.
Bercovici.
I'd love to listen to you say that. You do it so well. And Mirana is an author in her own right, and she wrote a moving forward to the book and did some editing on it, and she's going to read just a little bit of it tonight for us to give us a taste. I've got it. It's a great book. There's also some terrific photos in it. We've already posted some of them on Facebook, but for those who are listening on YouTube, you will get to see those photos in the second act. And Konrad, by the way, was a screenplay. He's an angel now, but he's a screenwriter, playwright, international correspondent. He even interviewed Hitler, and he worked on big-time movies as well.
He wrote the original screenplay for Chaplin's The Great Dictator.
Oh, is that all you could come up with? And we have a couple of pictures of him with
Chaplin,
yeah.
with Charlie, yeah.
Yeah. And let's see, I think we got it. And also we'll try to get a moment later on for you to mention. I think one of the songs we're going to play was played on MTV. You said you had a couple in rotation.
Yes, we did.
Back retro, yeah. And you know what? We'll play your beautiful photographs. You take incredible photographs. They're also posted on Facebook. When you look on Facebook, it's on my personal page, and I'm Sandy Stride. Let's see. We'll also play a few songs that were done with, recorded with Theory of Tides, and that's a band she was with that also featured her angel husband, Rick Comstock, on electric guitar, and you be sure to let people know which those are. Keith, what song are you going to do tonight?
I'm going to do a song that you wrote called When You Go.
It's a good one. I like it. And it's the 2.0 version, pumped up. I love that one. We're also going to air one of Tim McKenney's, that's our WATD production engineer. So if you're listening Sunday night on the radio, of course, Tim is the one keeping you on the air. And when we were all on at the same time, he was doing these songs live, karaoke songs. And the very first song he did was My Girl on a show a few years ago. And I loved it so much, so we're going to play that one tonight. And we're hoping that he may record some others for us to play in the future. And if he ever gets a free night on a Thursday, he might even pop in. And whose ever phone that is, if you could just put it on, what's that called? What do we say? It's Stun. On Stun, we put it on Stun, which means vibrate. Thank you, Keith. So I think we got it all. Oh, yes. So tonight, if you're watching on YouTube, then you already know it's on my personal page. I'm Sandy Stride. And if you're on YouTube, it would be Sandy Stride 225. But the shortcut to get there is sandyandkeith.com or keithandsandy.com. You just put that right in your browser up in that www space, and that's SANDYANDKEITH.com. And remember that now that we're on YouTube, you can watch our show anytime on our Twilight Showcase Archives playlist right on my YouTube page. You can watch that anytime. So, lucky you get to sing again. And do you want to give just a one-liner? We'd love to get to hear
It's
lucky
just
you.
kind of was a lyrical idea that people talk about their heart breaking in two, which medically apparently is possible. And hearts may be broken in more pieces than that.
I think
What
we
happens
might be,
then?
Can we have a hold again? I'm sorry for another technical problem. Something either is loose on the mic or the wire, or maybe we have to switch her to the other microphone. She can always use her sitting mic for standing, right? That might be the easiest way to do it, because she can even stand when she needs
It's
to
just
talk.
cutting in and out.
Yeah.
Test.
Apparently, it's one of
Test,
those
test.
nights. Shout out to John McHugh, because we just have to find the right buttons.
Is it okay?
You think it's all right now?
Well, now it's.
I don't want to wait until we start singing, so should we put her on the speaking mic instead? Or did you already switch?
No, he didn't.
Could we switch that, Keith?
Yeah, but I
Just, okay, he's going to get you a brand new mic, so lucky you. All right, well, I'll just ask you another question while we're on it. All right, let's see. We talked a little about your your grandfather. I apologize. I keep saying that by mistake. It's your grandfather. Grandpa. That makes it easier. Grandpa. Okay, Keith is going to change that for you. And let's see. What else should we tell you about? I know I want to do a shout out to John McHugh and thank you for letting us know. And John McCarthy, I know that you're listening now. And again, we're sorry that we got started late. But you'll still get the full 2 hours. He's going to check that for you. Hang on. And I'm also going to do a shout out to Miss Bridget Studley. And she might be listening on YouTube, but I know she's going to be listening on Twilight Showcase on the radio on Sunday. You go ahead, Mirana.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and
Check,
talk.
check.
You
Talk.
just talk. Yeah.
Is this on? So it's okay?
Sounds
try it.
good. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take 2 on Lucky You. Just hang on 1 second.
Hearts only broken into, lucky you. Hearts only broken into, lucky you. There's a chance someone will come along and put it together. There's a chance romance will start your heart beating like new. Mine's in so many pieces, I can't find them all. Hearts only broken into, lucky you. Hearts only broken into, lucky you. Time will heal those memories. You feel the joy of love. Time will heal those wounds. Soon two will become one.
Oh, nice. Lucky you. That is so pretty. Written and performed by Mirana Comstock. Very nice. Well, next up we're going to be, once you have your seat, because, and when you're reading, if there's a problem with the mic, we can take care of that. It's just when there's a song, we don't want to interrupt you. So you're going to be reading from the book, but just for those who might have just tuned in and didn't hear that this was written, just tell the short version of how you came across this manuscript.
My grandfather was a quite well-known author from kind of lost generation Paris and New York, along with Hemingway and Dreiser and Fitzgerald.
Back in the 30s.
Was part
Yes.
of his circle, and I inherited all the papers from the family. I was the last member of the family, and in the papers I found several unpublished books by Grandpa. He had published 40 books and hundreds of short stories and articles. And SUNY, State University of New York Press, ended up publishing it this past May, and they asked me to write the foreword because I was quite close with my grandfather.
You lived with him for a while.
Yes, yeah, we
That's
shared an
incredible.
apartment. It was
In the
sort of an
60s,
artistic commune thing there of the whole
Sure.
family in New York City, and they asked me to write the foreword and edit the book, which was, I'm a writer, but I hadn't been connected that way with books before, so I left that to the rest of the family. So it was quite a daunting thing to be doing, but I think it turned out
Incredible.
nice.
But you, when you first told me about this, you made it sound like you had to go through tons of stuff, and it was kind of by quote unquote accident that you found this.
Yeah, it was. There was thousands, because I also had the original manuscripts of the published work. I had thousands of pages with annotated things and editing things on them of hundreds of short stories and books, and
But to
other people in the
find
family
this-
write also, so there was a
Yeah.
lot
But this
of
is
material.
a treasure for many reasons.
Yes.
Because it's a piece of history that he wrote about.
Yes.
Yeah. So everybody can believe what they want. I think you would have found it no matter what, because somebody was a tapping on your shoulder, this pointing right there for you.
To find it
because
among
this
all
is
those
incredible.
pages, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been years before you.
Very
got to all
easily,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. So now let me see if I can describe this a tiny bit, and then, because you're going to read the foreword, which kind of tells more about it.
From the
right?
foreword, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And as we mentioned before, you're in addition to writing books, screenplays, and international correspondent, interviewed Hitler during the Second War. And Chaplin's The Great Dictator,
He wrote the original screenplay for The Great Dictator, and
which is
actually...
a movie, right?
Yes. It was the Charlie Chaplin movie. It was Charlie Chaplin's first talkie, actually, was when he made the move from silent comedic stuff to
You know,
talkie.
I could just spend the whole time talking about this. So how about this? How about I put you right on the spot? We want you to come back and do a feature on your grandfather. Yes, we'll put in some of your music.
Absolutely.
But we want to have a chance to talk more, because
He's fascinating.
because
he really is.
I know that in certain circles, people know about him, but not in my circles.
Yeah.
And I want to spread
Yeah.
the word, because just incredible.
He's a phenomenal writer
Yeah.
and human being, too.
and
yeah.
and also spoke his mind, and I think that's important lesson for us right now. It's a good time to
Yeah.
bring this out.
Yes.
So having said that, we'll just give them a teaser. Okay, so the Algonquin Round Table, just tell us again what that was, and then you read from your book.
The Algonquin Round Table was sort of a gathering spot for anybody who was
And the Algonquin
anybody.
is a famous hotel.
It's a famous hotel in
Still
New York
there.
City. It's
Go
still
ahead,
there.
yeah.
In fact, we had the launch of the book at the which Janet
Incredible.
knows, because Janet was there.
Wow.
Special
Wow.
assistant there, yeah. And its location was really good because it was just west of Fifth Avenue on 44th Street, but also it was right next to the theater district, so people started gathering there, and the people who owned the hotel catered to them. It didn't make it elite or fancy. They treated them like family, and they started having lunch there every day, and
some
they
of them
would be
would
around.
stay there from out
Some
of
of them would
town,
stay there when they were
yeah,
from out of town.
yeah.
So you would have like Eleanor Roosevelt and Charles Lawton and Tallulah Bankhead, and then you would have the people who wrote Sunset Boulevard and the people who wrote Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. My Fair Ladies, I Could Have Danced All Night was written there.
So in other
So-
words, theater books, movies,
Music.
singers, political
Anybody
people.
who was anybody.
Right. Okay. And your grandfather wrote a book about his experiences
Because he
there.
was part of the round table, he was part of the crowd there, yep.
All right. I would love, and the foreword kind of gives a little intro to it as well, and I like it because you wrote this part.
Yes,
So
yes.
let's hear
Well,
that,
thank you.
okay?
This is the foreword to the Algonquin Round Table, 25 years with the legends who lunch.
And again, this is in the 30s, this started out.
It started. in-
Okay, go right ahead.
My mother liked to tell this story. So do I. One sunny Sunday afternoon on a bus heading up New York's Riverside Drive, she overheard a fellow passenger observe, "There goes an oak tree out walking with a daisy." She then caught sight of what they were observing. A striking, peasant-sturdy older gentleman with a big mustache, holding hands with a blonde little girl as they crossed from Riverside Park and disappeared into an apartment building facing it. He was my grandpa, Konrad Bercovici. I was that daisy. Like some sort of creative commune, for much of my childhood, my mother, brother, grandparents, aunt, and I all shared an apartment in that building. Most of the rooms overlooked the park, Hudson River, and George Washington Bridge beyond. The ever-changing views of water and sky were considered essential, not only for painting, but also for your brain to breathe when writing, composing, playing music, or just thinking. Do not disturb signs were frequently posted on the closed doors of the apartment's rooms, and although everyone was quite communicative, so many stories to tell, you never bothered anyone while they were working. The thundering chords emanating from Grandpa's Hammond organ did not count as a disturbance. It was, after all, Bach. An internationally acclaimed writer, journalist, and historian, Konrad Bercovici authored 40 books, hundreds of short stories, plays, screenplays, magazine, and newspaper articles, including the original screenplay for Chaplin's The Great Dictator. When he wasn't writing stories, Grandpa was telling them. My brother and I would snuggle up to him enraptured. Far too lively to be bedtime stories, if anything, they kept us awake and probably also laid the groundwork for my becoming a writer. That, and with 3 generations of artists in the family, there was simply no wall space left by the time I came along. A large mahogany double-doored deco cabinet occupied a wall in the living room of our apartment. It now resides in my home outside Boston. As the last in my branch of the family, it contains most of the papers I inherited from them, including thousands of pages of unpublished manuscripts. There's a romantic novel set against the gentrification of Greenwich Village in the 1950s, memoir stories about a circle that included Chaplin, Hemingway, Dreiser, Fitzgerald, Einstein, and Modigliani. So many luminaries who called him friend, collaborator, mentor, and at times brutally honest critic. And ultimately, the Algonquin Round Table, an insider's view of the legendary place many of these luminaries thought of as their home away from home.
Oh, my goodness. Could you hold that book up for the camera, please?
Got the stickies. sticking
No,
out.
don't worry about the stickies. Just
With the
hold it
page
up.
number, with the
Yeah,
cameras.
the camera's over here. Yeah. We'll we'll probably post a picture of that as well.
It's a
Yeah,
caricature
yeah.
from the 20s,
And
actually.
it is
It's an old
available.
caricature which has a lot
It's
of the people.
beautiful.
Dorothy Parker
Yeah.
and Grandpa is over
Cool.
there.
And
It's
it
a good-
is also available on Amazon, am I correct?
On Amazon,
Okay, as
Barnes
well
and
as some of his
Noble,
other.
it's
Okay.
most bookstores, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be reading a couple more segments, little passages from the book that your parts that your grandfather wrote about some kind of well-known people that were there. Okay, so we'll do that as we go on. But right now, we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to play. Oh no, this is Theory of Tides. Excuse me, I've got the. No, this is it. This is CD Racer. This is the one that you did with Theory of Tides, and with Rick Comstock. And I'm going to let it start a little bit, but this one is a CD, and I'm going to play to screen share, show off some of your beautiful photography. And this is kind of a retro song, and a lot of this, and some of the pictures
It's off
are
our
retro
very
as
first
well.
demo, so it's off
Yeah.
our very first demo, and we were playing the New York scene. Yeah.
And you have pictures of most of which were taken in the New York area, not all of them, but many of
Some,
them,
yeah.
including pictures from 9/11. So
Yeah.
it just kind of goes together with the music. Do you want to just do a short intro to CD Eraser, and then I'm going to get the whole thing together?
It's off our very first demo when we were like a two-guitar melodic rock band in New York playing tracks and Gildersleeves.
Would this
and
be in the 80s,
CBG,
perhaps?
yes.
Okay.
CBGBs. We played the Bottom Line. We opened for Joe Perry Project at the Bottom Line. We did shows for WNEW. For
A well-known New York
well-known New York
station.
radio station at the time. I think it's a
Yeah.
news station now. And so it's sort of from a different time and a different sound, but it's interesting because it's about erasing time, but it's not really erased because we're playing it. So, yeah.
Good point. CD Eraser.
Time is erasure. Time is erasing. Till it's just a space where.
Okay, we'll have to take two again. We had some problems last week, too. We haven't quite figured it out yet, but we will be working on it this week. Let's try it again. Hang on a minute. We're going to shut the CD player off and come back on again. Hang on. And if John McHugh is still watching, we're pretty sure it's going to turn out to be The Wire. So, and here we go again. And we'll just have a quiet for a second to help me with the editing. And
Time is erasure. Time is erasing. Till it's just a space where something once has been. Time is erasure. Time is erasing. Time is erasure. Time is erasing. Till it's just a blur and the page is worn on thin. Time is erasure. Time is erasing. Gotta rub out all the traces of the faces that you saw. Rub down to an up and down
Yeah, CD Eraser. Wow. CD Eraser performed
To
with,
point out, that was the late Rick Comstock on guitar. on that.
yeah, beautiful, beautiful job on that. And Theory of Tides is the name of the band, right?
Actually, we were size 5 back
Okay.
then.
But, so there were different
Yeah,
bands that you both played
right,
in.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
There it was still our bands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and but that was one of the ones that was put on MTV, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. And what was the name of the other one that was on MTV that?
When Men Remember.
Okay, all
That's the
right.
other one.
We're not playing that tonight, but perhaps another time.
Okay.
But yeah, really nice. Do you have? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but just a little memorable moment from being maybe your experience of seeing your band on MTV. I mean, all of us can only imagine what it must
It
be
was.
like.
It sort of happened after we just had been rehearsing with the band, and they were over at the apartment in the Village in New York, and we turned on MTV, and I think it was the first time it was played, and it was very surreal. It was very surreal. That we heard the first chord, and we were like, "What?" You know, it was just kind of like it was hard to believe that was going on, and that this was when music videos were just getting very hot.
Yes,
So
it's
everybody
new.
wanted
Oh,
to
yeah.
do them, and I was, and still am, in advertising as the day job. And a lot of people I knew wanted to make videos.
Sure,
Because that was
sure.
the cool thing to be
Of
doing.
course.
So we had a very good team of people filming and studios to work in and stuff like that, pretty much from the beginning, which was also
Wow.
kind of cool.
Great
Yeah.
job,
Yeah.
great job.
Excellent.
And your artwork, just incredible.
Oh, thank
Your
you.
photographs are just absolutely stirring. They really are. And then you add the music behind them. Let me get your friend here. Hang on. Janet on camera. No, that wouldn't be the right one. Yes, there we go. Janet, if you want to look over here. Hi, Janet. It's Janet Johnson, and Keith is in the background. And just react a little bit, and then we're going to bug you again later, I'm sure. But whether it's a photograph. Oh, yes, we want to hear what you have to say. Any comment on the photographs or the music or seeing her performing here? Anything at all? Go
It's
right
really
ahead.
fun. It's really fun to see Mirana perform. Since I've known her for over a year, I was a realtor, and now I'm her friend.
Yeah, that's good.
It's
yeah,
good?
yeah.
And yeah, we met over a year ago, and then I just followed this journey where she uncovered the manuscript.
Wow. So you've been
Grandfather.
around, and you even went to the opening, which
Well,
we'll
I
have
did.
picture.
I
We'll have
love-
pictures in
Oh,
the second act.
I
Yes.
love New York, so
Wow.
she said, I might have to go to New York. I was like, I'll take you to
She
New
said,
York.
"I love New York." That would make a good advertising plan.
Let me write that down.
That's
so,
great.
Well, we just find we have, we enjoy each other's company, and
Wow.
I just love music and art, and it's just been a fun, and this is fun. Never
Well, we
been in a-
thank you for
Yeah,
coming.
thank you.
And just a quick plug, where
Yeah.
do you do real
Oh,
estate?
I'm
Should
in,
anyone
I'm
be
in
looking?
Hingham, yes, Caldwell Banker.
But
Hingham-
anywhere in the South
Hingham Square,
Shore
but anywhere.
area.
That's
Okay.
my office is Hingham Square.
Excellent.
But happy to serve anyone, anywhere.
Caldwell
So,
Banker and Janet Johnson.
Janet Johnson, thank
Excellent.
you.
And having met you, I would imagine you were a lot fun to work
Oh,
with when
She
with
was
real
amazing. She
estate.
sold my house. So,
Oh, well,
yeah,
that's the best reference.
She did an amazing
super.
job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was a
Super.
beautiful home. Beautiful
Wonderful.
Victorian on the water, so thank you.
Yeah, let's see. What do we have next? Oh, Keith. I'm going to get Keith on camera because Keith is going to do, I'll do a quickie here. Let's see if I can get Keith on. There we go, Keith. We do Who Cares segments, and sometimes we do Who Cares specials. We're really overdue for a whole special because we usually try to just bring up maybe something that happened of historical nature during the week. But right now, it's more like every 10 minutes there's something going on of historical nature. And I would love to talk more about that in the future. But I think where we're looking at now is the leaders of the GOP, the top. That would be Trump, Musk, and vice president, and also I think we should include the head of the House of Representatives. Is that another Johnson? You're not related, are you? Are you related? Not at all. Oh, okay. Well, no, I would be delighted to interview him. Anyhow, we go astray here. But the thing is, we've talked in the past about there are multiple reports about members of Congress who are concerned about some of the things that are going on. And as it turns out, we heard the experts' opinions that yes, members of Congress do have ways to stop some of the things, whether it's they do have the right to say no, don't just cut the Department of Education, don't stop aiding children around the world, and so on. But they're afraid to speak up, and we have heard that they are not only being threatened around politically running for office and having people compete with them and put money into other candidates, but they are actually receiving death threats. That's a horrible thing. I do hope that at some point they will get together, those that feel that they still have a conscience, and while they may support many of the good things that the Republicans have done in the past, that they can't stand by and watch cruelty going on and irrational things. And I think that we're hearing more and more what Keith and I have been saying off air, right, Keith, about Trump, and not just Trump, it's Musk, very similar. I think they could be related, the way they are so well connected in what they do, and some of the others. Some of them are caught up and they are afraid to say something. But to me, the way Trump has been acting is not just erratic and chaotic. It is now irrational. And I think it's time to have the courage to say that what we see is what we've seen. And, you know, we have friends, and I have worked with many people, direct advocacy and other areas with people that do have serious mental health challenges. You know, I think a lot of people think that when someone is what they might be called as, you know, crazy or erratic or irrational, that they're gonna it's gonna be obvious, you know? They're gonna act like really weird all the time and everybody will know. Unfortunately, that just isn't true. That people that can have very serious erratic and irrational actions can sometimes appear to be very normal. By the way, your grandfather, may I bring that up, as long as we're talking about it? You said when he met with Hitler, I don't know if that's okay to say, you may not want to say it, I don't know what he said in the books, that he felt how Hitler was. I don't know if
Crazy. Yeah.
Okay, so you're okay saying it. I didn't want to put you on the spot. You say that again?
His speech patterns. He was there for some very early speeches that he was giving, and his speech patterns, he would emphasize the wrong word, he'd spread his arms out at the wrong moment in the speech. And the Germans that were there and my grandfather understood German, but the Germans that were there couldn't understand what he was saying, either, because his emphasis was weird.
It was
and
irrational.
the speech pattern was that of a crazy person.
Yeah. And yet, and of course, killing millions of people is also considered insane by some people. Some people it's just considered cruel. Either way, we agree with your grandfather.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is that I have actually seen video from back then. It's not video. It would have been film. With Hitler, and he looked like at home, you know, with the family on a barbecue, that kind of thing. And he looked just like a regular guy. So my point is, and that's true for well-known criminals and so on, I feel that we are seeing the same thing with Trump. I feel that he is getting to a point of acting in a manic way, and certainly delusions of grandeur. When he goes from every day going more and more tariffs, and the tariffs, as soon as somebody disagrees with him, he obviously gets very angry and just keeps throwing out more and more tariffs. He's alienated our closest allies for no reason. There was another thing that just came up on the news today. It'll come to me. But at any rate, yeah, Canada. In the mic. Use the mic to say absolutely. Yeah, the way that Canada's our closest allies. They don't understand what's going on. Somebody said it's like his manhood is being challenged, but the delusions of grandeur today, he emphasized again, the reason that he feels that this all should end is Canada should agree. This is what he said at a press conference, that they should become the 51st state and then everything would be fine. And he keeps giving one reason. One of the reasons is, look on the map how beautiful the outline of the whole country would be. I know that people just like shrug it off, but these things are coming more frequently, and his irrational behaviors are getting quicker and faster and stronger and more concerning. So if I'm wrong, good news. If I'm right, you heard it here, along with several other people who are saying it. The good news is that on the other side is that the courts are starting to recognize some of the things that Musk is coming up with that are not legal, and so on. And that's good news. And of course, the great news is that the people of this country, of all backgrounds, all ages, all abilities, all political parties, are starting to stand up and say, this is not the way we want our country to be run. I think it's hard for some people to go through this change. But as Keith always says, when it gets harder to keep doing what you're doing, excuse me, let me get this right, because it's really good, Keith. Change is very hard, no matter how you do it, and that's what this song was written about. And Keith says that no matter how hard it is to change, and it is hard for people that are being threatened to change what they're doing, okay? I can appreciate that. But when it gets harder not to change than to change, that is when they'll go and change. When you go, Keith James.
Sometimes I regret the time that I wasted waiting for a better way. You gave me every disadvantage, but you never forced me to stay. If I keep doing things your way, there will be nothing left of me to know. And I want to have more than regret. I want to have more than regret. I just want to have more than regret. When you go, care more than you let me, but we can still be friends. It wasn't the love that was missing, I just could not trust you in the end. If I keep doing things your way, there will be nothing left of me to know. And I want to have more than regret. I want to have more than regret. I just want to have more than regret. When you go, even when change is for the better, something old gets left behind. because I no longer wear it, I still think of it as mine. If I keep doing things your way, there will be nothing left of me to know. And I want to have more than regrets. I want to have more than regrets. If I keep doing things your way, there will be nothing left of me to know. And I want to have more than regrets. I want to have more than regrets. I just want to have more than regrets. When you go, when you go.
That was Keith James performing When You Go. I wrote the lyrics on that. Keith wrote and performed
Well,
the beautiful music. Thank you. Thank you. Let me do this here. And thank you for what you just said. You could hold up the mic when you, yeah. I've got you. See, I can do this. Look at this camera. See? I can see all of you all at once. Huh? This is my aerial
Power,
camera.
the
My
power
drone.
of sight.
I love it. That's a good angle on you, too. We can go back and forth. All right, let's see how we're doing on time. Let's at least get in the reading of Valentino's story, continuing with, and this is a from a chapter that your grandfather Konrad
Yes,
wrote. Go right
This
ahead.
is, I did not meet Valentino. Grandpa did.
Yeah.
One day, the great Valentino brought a group of his friends to lunch at the Algonquin. The usual mob had followed to the door, but when he sat down in the rose room, none of the other guests showed any surprise. They noticed his entrance and saw him sit down, but there was no to-do about him. His companions, Italians, and at the Algonquin for the first time, looked around amazed that there was no stir created by the appearance of the idol. The waitress served him with no more deference than they showed other guests, and George, the head waiter, stood at his usual place. Nobody fought for the privilege of entering the dining room. From where I sat, I could see Valentino's face change color. He was not a particularly handsome man, had a rather sallow complexion, and his black patent leather hair was beginning to thin. He looked like a gigolo, the kind one sees in the Riviera, a dancer waiting for some middle-aged woman to invite him to dance with her at so much per. All the publicity in the world could not have created such a psychosis in women. There undoubtedly was something else which no male can fathom. And there Valentino sat that morning, with 100 or more people at adjoining tables, and nobody seemed to take any particular notice of him. After a while, he caught my eye and came to my table to shake hands, hoping this would attract attention. But it didn't. Turning to face the room, he asked in a loud and angry whisper, "What's the matter with the people here? Are they all dead? I visited the Institute of the Blind, and even the blind knew when I was there." "No," I said, "they are not dead. They are hungry." "But I'm not," Valentino retorted, and he stalked out without retrieving his coat from the cloakroom, followed by his muttering companions.
Just a little taste. We'll have
Just a
another
little-
one
took
later.
a little taste
but
of the book and of the era, and the hotel, yeah.
gems, absolute
Yeah.
gems.
Yeah.
And to have it from a first-hand experience like this, unbelievable. All right, what I want to do now is we're gonna go right into this storm. So do a one-liner for that, and then we'll be pretty close to breaking for the news and the weather on WATD.
Rick Comstock was also on guitar on this storm. An interesting thing about when we recorded the song, there was actually a storm coming in off the ocean. It was when we had the studio in the house. And we didn't do anything as hokey if there's raindrops or thunder on the track, but definitely looking out over the ocean while I was
Wow.
singing the words about a storm definitely had an effect, I think, in how I was singing it.
All right, this storm.
Like a cloud on the horizon, billowing. Like a cloud with no silver lining that's waiting for me. This storm has so many warnings that I don't heed. This storm has thunder and lightning, but I'm not listening. Like a wind gusting in to blow us away out to sea. No place for me to land for days and days and days and days. This storm has so many warnings that I don't heed. This storm has thunder and lightning, but I'm not listening, and I can't seem to see. So calm, I felt safe and warm and had died down. They were gone. I was so wrong. Of the storm. The storm. The storm. The storm. Like the sky goes light to dark, so suddenly. No time for you and me to make it home safely. Will I be sold to the bone shivering? Will I spend this night alone without your company? This storm has so many warnings that I don't heed. This storm has thunder and lightning, but I'm not listening. This storm has so many warnings that I need to heed. That I need to heed.
was this storm. That was the storm, Mirana Comstock. And I love that song. I liked it the last time when you came, we played it.
Yeah.
But ironically, what a beautiful follow-up to our Who Cares segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. So now what we're going to do is switch over to Stepping Out, a little instrumental from Keith James. And I think this is just you, right? Just you. Okay. And I'll pop in briefly to tell you what's going on in the second act. And then we'll take a break. It'll be just, if you're listening on YouTube, 5 minutes or so, and then we'll be back. And if you're listening on WATD, then during the break, you'll hear the news and the weather, and then we'll be back on. So still ahead will be more of Mirana Comstock live in studio, and she'll read about Houdini, from her new book, and she's hopefully we'll get to her latest poem, and we're going to hear Tim sing My Girl, recorded the very first time he ever sang on Twilight Showcase, all after this break for the news and the weather and an important message from Jonathan Edwards. See you soon. Go ahead. Yeah. Keith, hang on. Shush. Yeah, go ahead. And for those folks listening on Zoom, just want to remind you that we are not on the radio at the moment, but we are still on Facebook Live. Well, we could put the camera on you. You do seem to be enjoying the show, if I'm not mistaken. Well, we are enjoying having you here. You're a delightful audience. Thank you. Good, thank you. She said it was fun to be here, but she wouldn't pick up the microphone. Certainly been enjoying Miranna's performance. No, I'm trying to get you to talk on the mic. Well, we're on YouTube, so we're entertaining them while they wait on YouTube. Yes. Yep. So you sold Miranna's house.
Yes. Spring of 24.
Very good. That's wonderful. That's nice. That's good. Yeah, she's got a good move going on there.
But it's really fun to see her perform.
And have you seen her perform elsewhere?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I've never
Oh
seen
my
her
goodness.
perform.
Oh wow. Yeah. It is for us too. Yeah. And the book is just wonderful. I got it. Now it makes you want to find the time to read it. It's really quite good. I've read a few segments, and it's hard to put it down because you just want it's in small sections, and you just want to read a little more. To hear just one more. Like puppies and kittens, you just want one more. Well, I appreciate you talking with me. Everybody's okay? All right. Go right ahead. And we'll start again. And then we will start again. In just a minute, and we'll have to make note of the time. This camera gets a good angle of you there. Okay. So let's just make note of the time if everybody's okay, and if anyone else. All right. Is it right on
5:40,
even
yeah.
amount?
Right on it.
Oh, that's great, 5:40. Okay. So about 5:35 then, right? For 55 minutes would be 5:35. Even that one I can figure out. Okay,
Yeah.
if everyone's ready, we will start again with our Jonathan Edwards promo. Well, okay?
Sunshine, sunshine, go away today.
Hello, everybody. This is Jonathan Edwards. You're listening to Twilight Showcase with Sandy and Keith on 95.9 WATD.
Life, you don't know what he's asking.
And welcome back to the second act of Twilight
All
Showcase. Take it away, Mirana.
They say I should see more than what's in front of me, but I'm too busy concentrating on you and me to care about the periphery. They say someday I'll hit the wall, might lose it all, but I can't look ahead. I'd rather look at you instead. I'd rather look at you instead. No peripheral vision at all. Don't care if I walk into walls. Who knows what tomorrow may be? What's around the corner? Not me. They say I should learn from the past or I'll get burned. But this flame so bright, I can't see what's left or right. I'm too blinded by your light. They say life's no mystery if you have a clue, but I'm not searching. Already found it here with you. Already found it here with you. No peripheral vision at all. Don't care if I walk into walls. Who knows what tomorrow may be? What's around the corner? Not me.
Wow. Oh, it stopped again. I don't know what is wrong with that. Well, it sounded like the song.
Well, it was most of the song, but this little break is pretty.
All right. Well, it was a good timing, I think, because I don't want to miss out on any of your stuff. So that was a teaser on Periphery.
Okay.
And was that a radio premiere? Or is that's an older one, right? I can't remember.
It's not ancient old.
No, it's not. No, that's not the one.
I think it is a radio premiere. I don't think
Is
we
it?
did this last time. No.
All right, okay. Well, I thought it really was the ending, the way it just winded down.
No, it's a
So,
little piano interlude.
yeah,
Isn't it?
it sounded good.
We'll give
It
them something
sounded
to look
good.
forward to hearing the whole one.
That's right, that's right.
Yep.
Well, some people do that. They just put together a few pieces from different songs, so.
Well, you can go to theoryoftides.com and it's on there.
Oh, say that again?
Theoryoftides.com.
Theoryoftides.com, and you can hear all of these.
Yeah,
That's cool.
absolutely. And-
Very good.
and Periphery is on there.
You're going to be reading next, but if you'd like to sit, I'll get you on the other camera. And did you want to tell us a little bit about Periphery?
Well, Periphery, I mean, it's basically about people telling you what to do and you're going to do what you want to do anyway. I don't think musically, I mean, there's not something particularly unusual to discuss about it from a music standpoint, but from a lyrical
Yeah.
standpoint, which as a writer, I start with the lyrics a lot of times. I think periphery is people will tell you what to do and you're going to see what you're going to see.
Yeah. Another point well taken.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, I believe that we are up to hearing, which we are all looking forward to, your grandfather's recollections of talking with Houdini. And tell everybody who Houdini was, for those who might not know.
He was like a master magician,
Yeah.
escape artist. When you see some of things like David Copperfield, people like that who did escapes from cages or things underwater.
Wow.
It was really
Yes.
Houdini who started all that level of performance in that and made it more than taking a rabbit out of a hat.
And he was so famous that in a sense his name became, I don't know if the word is adjective or what, but people would say, "Oh, she's a Houdini,"
Yes,
Houdini.
there was a
it's
song in the past
still
couple
now.
years, Houdini.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly about that.
Yeah, that's really something. And again, this is from the book named.
The Algonquin Round Table, 25 Years with the Legends Who Lunch.
Go for it.
The late Harry Houdini was, no doubt, one of the cleverest performers. When he did his daily stint at the Hippodrome just across the street from the Algonquin, he lived at the hotel. The suite was crammed with trunks and boxes that contained the paraphernalia of his acts. A special engineer was occupied daily in the suite to keep the instruments in condition and to invent new ones. Houdini himself was a very ingenious mechanic who did not rely on old acts to keep his reputation. When some other magician copied one of his tricks, Houdini abandoned it and created something new. Houdini looked like a prosperous salesman and talked like one, but there was that inexplicable aura about him which carried on after his death. His death made a deep impression on the people who knew him, who came in contact with him, who assisted him in his stage tricks. To assure himself of posterity in the minds of the people, he left a will saying that if an afterlife existed, his spirit would return to earth at a certain date and that he would communicate to certain people a report on the world beyond. Whether or not one believes that Houdini believed in the supernatural, he who by clever mechanical devices created the illusion of the supernatural is of no importance. The fact is that many believed and waited, and some are still waiting to hear from him. Lawyers and hard-headed businessmen, bankers, ministers, and artists. Even some professional magicians believe that Houdini's performances were not all mechanical, that he did have some occult power. Because they cannot duplicate his tricks, they assert that they were not tricks at all, but supernatural manifestations. It is quite possible Houdini himself didn't believe that all he did was merely due to his own cleverness. Because they were befriended by him, some people are waiting for his spirit to reappear, to communicate with them. While waiting, they spread their beliefs to others. Hotel attendants who had seen the tremendous array of paraphernalia he used, who had seen him tinker and work to perfect shackles and other instruments, believe or pretend to believe in Houdini's supernatural powers. And they too are waiting. People one seldom sees the whole year round come casually and sit in the lobby or lunch in the dining room and look abstractedly at the ceiling on certain days. Some reserve a suite for a particular day, pull down the shades, and wait.
What a writer. And I have to add, you are quite the reader. I mean,
Yeah, you're a very good reader.
Thank you.
It's like you are acting out what we're hearing.
I look
That's
at
how
it
it
that way.
feels at any rate.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, it's very hard to
It's like a script.
you don't
yeah.
lose interest. Do you do acting as well, or have you done it?
I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, performing.
Well, I think singing is acting. I don't
Yeah,
think.
singing is
It's-
acting to me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to portray the song and as best you
It's
can.
not the sound. It's getting inside of the
Yeah.
meaning and
Right.
acting it out. I agree.
Nice. Well, let's see. We have another. I believe this is one that you are going to sing harmony to. Do I have that right, Konrad?
Yes.
Yeah, you want to tell us a little about that, and then,
Corners is a song that we sort of recorded. It was a one-shot vocal and sort of abandoned it. And then I was going to go back in and sing the vocal again and perfect it. But sometimes the feel is really more important than perfection of sound. And when I went back in and listened to it a couple years later, I was like, I like the feel of what's going on here, and I don't think recording it in little bits and pieces and fixing first phrase, verse 2 was going to make it better, that the feel all the way through was more important. But I do think it needs some harmony, so I'm going to add some harmonies to it today. I'll be singing against my recorded self.
Great.
and that was me
Yeah.
with the little
Figured.
click there. I wanted to restart that, so we'll give it our best shot. Okay, Connor, let's hope Houdini. Let's hope that
Calling
your
Houdini.
grandfather
Maybe he was here today
and
unplugging things
Houdini
and plugging things
are
in
helping
today.
out.
He was manifesting himself with
That's
the
right.
technical issues.
You're messing us
We
up.
certainly heard him, if that's the
Yes,
case. Nice to hear from all of you.
He and Valentino are hanging out outside. They liked getting a shout
And,
out.
and let us not forget the one who wrote about them all, Konrad.
Conrad.
And what did you call
Bercovici.
your grandfather again? Was it Grandpa?
It was Grandpa. yeah.
Grandpa? All
But also
right.
Conrad. My brother's name was Conrad. Also,
Oh,
was named
wow.
after him.
Oh, nice.
Conrad with a K.
Nice, very good. All right, here's Connor from Mirana Comstock, live right here on Twilight Showcase.
Semi-live.
No, it's live.
Are you in my corner with me? When the bell rings, whatever life brings, are you in my corner with me? I hope that you finally see it's the only place for you and me, here in my corner with me. Sometimes it may seem it's too against the world, but the right two can do it together. Sometimes it may seem everything comes between us, but it's okay if we just hold on to our love. Are you in my corner with me? There may be 4 corners of the globe, but there's only one you can call home. We're never apart, safe and warm in my heart. Are you in that corner with me? Sometimes it may seem there's so much else to explore, but it's nothing we can have so much more. Sometimes it may seem your dreams are way out there, but it's right here, they will come true for you. Are you in my corner with me? When the bell rings, when the day begins, I'm the one you can count on through every round. When the bell rings, whatever life brings, whatever it takes, whatever it gives, I know I can wait as long as we both live here in our corner with me. Sometimes it may seem we're too against the world. Sometimes it may seem everything comes between us, seem our love won't be enough. Sometimes it may seem there's so much more to explore. Sometimes it may seem our dreams may not come true. Sometimes it may seem that way till I look at you here in my corner with me. Sometimes it may seem in our corner with you. Sometimes it may seem with you. Sometimes it may seem with you.
And that was Mirana Comstock. You know, when you weren't singing, you could have danced right across to see Janet, because my camera can move. All right, that was nice. Nice job on that. Now, you're going to be doing a poem in a moment, but not yet. No, actually, we're going to, before that, there is another song, so we might as well, sit and let's get you on camera. We're going to, no, that's right, the poem is Lightning. Yeah, but before that, I just want to say that, as we said, you are a true Renaissance woman, but you have quite an interesting background as well. You were trained at Juilliard? You want to, and what did you,
I was
talk a little about that?
I was a piano major at Juilliard. I also went to
Thank you.
High School of Music and Art, which was the FAME school. I was a voice major at Music and Art. Actually, of recent note, Timothée Chalamet went to, not the same time as me, but went to Music and Art also. So it's a wonderful place to learn.
Interesting. And you also have written screenplays as well.
Yes, nothing on the big screen yet, but we're working on it. We have a television series circulating right now that we're hoping something happens.
Keep us posted. Keep us posted.
Absolutely.
And also, if there's any further interest in your book for any reason, you said there might be some follow-up to that, to the most recent book.
Well,
do let us know.
There's two other books that I found that were also like unpublished, and one of them we may be turning into a mini series, and there's also talk about
This would be a
Grandpa doing a film about Grandpa and his life, because it was so amazing.
that would
But
be
moving beyond the
wonderful.
book to just him, you know.
Well, that's what I
which
was
is-
thinking. Yeah, that would be incredible. Well, do keep us posted. you know. That's
Absolutely.
wonderful. Would you be up for reading your poem, Lightning? And this is new, right?
Yes, it is.
Let's see if we're getting any comments coming in. That might be on Facebook. I'll check that, though. But you go ahead and start reading. Make sure you're on camera.
And this poem with a shout out to TGIF. Lightning. We stood under the old wooden pavilion, watching the storm come in from the ocean, your jacket round my shoulders, my head on your shoulder, looking for lightning, finding it in your hand on my back, your taste on my lips, your hip with that twitch of memory against mine. A dog barked, music played, a father and his toddler daughter splashed in puddles of rainwater. But like a kiss in a crowd in a movie, everyone around us faded into the dusk until there was just us. Breathing, hearts beating, a wistful voice in the wind repeating. maybe this is how it will be from now on. Maybe now this is how it will be.
Beautiful. Very powerful. Powerful. Yeah, yeah. Nice job. And thank you for letting us premiere that. Yeah, that's a new one. And that was a comment coming in. And again, folks, you can, we haven't arranged yet to have live phone calls when we're on just YouTube, but we're working on it. But in the meantime, John McCarthy, shout out to you. And he did make some comments. He's enjoying the show. But he also made a comment about our Who Cares segment. And he said, heard you said Trump, and he said, John said, and I agree with him, by the way, we have another spoiled child in the house. I am not going to argue with that, John. I just want to see what else he said. Yeah, Trump wants his way and does not care about other countries. People know how
Yeah.
other countries feel. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Keep pushing Canada to become one of our states. I don't know, it seems like inappropriate to me
You
at the
think?
least when they do not want to, and it feels like he's pressuring them. Now, if Canada wants to take a few of our states over to their side,
Yeah, I
I
could name
would
a
be
few.
one. Yeah, I would certainly think that there might be people in this country who would consider that. Who knows? Any rate, so. And that was a joke, folks.
Yes, it was.
All right, let me get back to monitoring what's going on. Oh, and there you are on YouTube live. Once again, if you're looking for us, if you're listening on the radio on Sunday and you just want to check out the show because you can watch it on YouTube anytime, you can go to my page. Here's the shortcut. Just stick this in your browser, sandyandkeith.com or keithandsandy.com. That's SANDYANDKEITH. Right? Hey,
Just my humor, stick this in your browser, that's going to be a saying sometime.
yeah, I guess I had to be
You know?
careful about that. Yeah. Hey, you know what we didn't get to do last time, but I really miss it. So I'm going to say, hey, if you'd like to hear more Keith James songs,
And who wouldn't?
I agree. I agree.
Thank you.
So all you have to do is go to keithjames.info. That's keithjames.info. Info.
Shameless self-promotion.
There we go.
Yes. And also there are free, that's right, I said free, downloads there of, and not all of our songs are posted there yet, but many of them are. So, all right. Now, it looks to me like what we have coming up next is that, where are we going to do it? Okay, before we play the next song, we want to show some of the photos that are in your grandfather's book from the actual Algonquin Round Table. Some of them, well, they may not be from the Round Table. I think one of them was, but they're from all of that time in history. And what I want to do is name drop. So I want to have you, so you might want to stand so you can see the slides, and you can just move the mic so you can speak into the mic. And we'll lose sight of you because I'm going to put the pictures on, and we'll take them one at a time. And if you could just let us know who it is, when and where, because that's a fancy way of name dropping. All right, so I'm going to come over here. Let me get you on so they can see. See, she's facing the screen. Cool. It'll take me a minute to get that on. And just remind everybody who might have tuned in late what the book was about.
The book is the Algonquin Round Table, 25 Years with the Legends Who Lunch. And my grandfather wrote it 70 years ago, and I discovered it in a trunk of family papers. It was an unpublished manuscript. And that's my grandpa, Konrad Bercovici, Romanian,
beautiful.
potentially part gypsy, very cool, intense-looking guy. And he was a part of this roundtable. He was a Lost Generation writer along with Hemingway, who he was better known than Hemingway at the time when he brought Hemingway to Liverite, to his publisher and to his agent.
Incredible.
And Fitzgerald and Dreiser, and it was part of the same crowd in New
Now,
York.
this
and in
one, I
Paris.
think, was actually taken at the
This is at the
Algonquin Round
Algonquin,
Table.
and attorney Louis Nizer is sitting there. And
If
Joe,
you start from the left, if
I
you want to
don't know-
name the ones that you
I
just
don't
name the
know
ones
all
you
of them.
know. That's okay.
I know that's that is Louis Nizer on the left, who is a quite well-known attorney who handled
Wow.
a suit my grandfather ended up
And
having
your
against
grandfather
Chaplin.
is right in the middle
In the
there, am
middle,
I
yes.
correct? With the beautiful mustache.
Yes.
Keep going.
And that's
yeah.
Joe DiMaggio
Oh, wow.
sitting next to him.
And again, for those who might not know, do you know who Joe DiMaggio is? And could you tell everyone?
Well, he was a famous baseball player, but he was also married to Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, is that all?
Yes, and that probably is why he is at the Algonquin, because I think she probably used to stay there as
Isn't
part of
that
the
something?
theater and stars and people who would hang out there.
Wow. And we're not sure who the next one is. Is that
I
correct?
think that's Ben Bodney, who
Okay.
was the owner.
Oh, the
at-
one
at the time.
standing. The one
I'm
standing.
not sure who the standing
Okay,
guy
all right.
is
But the
at
one
time.
next to Joe DiMaggio with the carnation in his lapel.
I think it's Ben Bodney, who was the owner
the owner
of the hotel at
Algonquin.
that time. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Talk about
Yeah,
name
it's
dropping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gosh.
And whoever's taking these photos certainly captures the moment perfectly. The expressions on
But
their
it was an
face.
interesting thing to find. I go, wait a minute, isn't that Joe DiMaggio sitting with Grandpa?
Yeah, right.
It's just so random and such an odd
You never
occurrence,
know.
you know.
Yeah, you never know. All right, let's take the next one. And these are all from the book. This one is amazing to me.
Apropos what we've been talking about earlier. Grandpa's the guy in the white suit, tiny
Okay,
little dot
so-
in the far distance, and he's lecturing troops about Hitler.
Yeah, in the building, the middle building there, you see someone, I don't know if the pointer will
That's
show,
Grandpa.
but it'll
That's-
show for this.
That's
yeah.
Grandpa in the white suit.
Yeah.
And that's like thousands of like troops. He was working for the War Department and
Make
talking
sure
to
that
them
mic is-
about
yeah, I just wanna
talking to
hear
them
you.
about
Go ahead.
Hitler and about fascism. And actually, when he passed away, the New York Times and I think the New York Herald Tribune made a point of saying how Grandpa was one of the first people to sound the alarm on Hitler.
Yeah, and
Yeah. He knew what he was looking at. Yeah.
So when he sounded the alarm, at first that was before we were in the war, am I correct?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
so there were still at that time, before we were entered the war after Pearl Harbor, there were still people in America who just didn't really want to be against Hitler. They thought, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, that is true. There were, and for various reasons, some because they were just blinded by it, some because they were fascists, and some because Russia and Germany were allies at the time, and so there was people who were like left of center.
Okay.
To a certain extent, the people who were walking around and being and Grandpa never was left or right. He did what was ethical and didn't join himself up with either side, and that hurt him in some ways because you wanted those allies, both in Hollywood and New York. You wanted to be on a side,
Yeah.
and he wasn't on either side.
So he got pushback, though, from speaking out against Hitler
absolutely.
initially.
Well,
Yeah.
they said this, you're just a romantic writer of gypsy stories. What do you know? And it's like, well, I'm a journalist. I'm a foreign correspondent, and I know what I see. And I have a magazine at home, Liberty Magazine, American magazine, which has an article about it's basically saying, get the hell out of Germany. And the magazine publishes the counter-argument, as if the Nazi is a counter-argument, with one of the heads of the Nazi party
word.
saying, oh, no, we're not going to do any of those
So
things.
when your father wrote for magazines and wrote articles like that, what magazines again might he have written in?
It was basically Esquire. I mean, some of the ones that are still just Harper's, Esquire.
And you have some of
Century.
those articles?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so when we hope that you will do a full feature on your grandfather, we're going to hopefully get copies of some of that or something that, we can include.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
Yeah.
Wow, and again, look at this crowd. And who would it be that asked him to speak to all these?
It was the War Department.
The War Department.
Yeah.
Not a bad reference.
I have some letters from them and some
Really?
interesting. And it's funny because in the book he actually talks about a little bit about talking to the troops and running into like a guy who said, I miss the Algonquin. He ran into one of the regulars of the
Isn't that
Algonquin who was in
something?
uniform and was serving.
Wow.
So it was kind of cool.
I imagine there's a million stories in there. Okay, now this one is interesting. You want to fill us in? Go left to right?
It's Grandpa, Mary Pickford, Charlie Chaplin, and Douglas Fairbanks.
Okay, am I in the right place? So on the left is your grandfather
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably one of the earlier pictures, if I had to guess, right?
Well, it's
He
Chaplin.
looks
It's
younger there.
CC Film. It's Chaplin Film Company. It's when they were
Yeah.
like making movies, and then they formed United Artists. Eventually,
And
this crap.
Chaplin-
Not Grandpa didn't, but but Chaplin and Fairbanks
And Chaplin
Pickford.
is in between the woman and the man with
Yes,
hats. And
yes.
when I first saw the pictures and it said Chaplin, I took a double take because I was one of those people who had not seen him out of character.
Right.
Right.
And I double checked. I checked it twice to make sure. Yep, that's Chaplin. Unbelievable. And who was next to Chaplin, did you
Douglas
say?
Fairbanks.
Oh, well, I've heard of him. And that was on the set of?
I don't know. It's on the back lot of the film company. I don't know if that's a specific.
It doesn't
movie.
matter, yeah, but it is
There's
where
another
they were
image
filming.
that is on the set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that they were filming there. Okay. And this is the lovely
That's
Mirana
me.
Comstock.
Yeah.
That's at the book launch, which we had at the Algonquin
That is
Hotel.
so
which
cool
was
that you
so
did
cool.
that.
It was
I
in the
just-
oak room where one of the round tables was in the oak room. So
seriously.
it was like in Grandpa's footsteps
Yeah.
and in the exact same location.
Yeah.
That was quite cool.
Okay, this is a trivia crazy question from Sandy, as always. Did they by any chance keep one of the actual tables that people sat at?
It's funny because at the opening, the son of the Bodneys,
Talking to the
grandson of
mic.
the Bodneys, the son of
Owner?
of one of the grandson
Yeah.
of one of the owners,
Okay.
talked about the table, and I think he had one little table
Oh, isn't
from
that
there, but
something?
I don't think they were sure where the actual big table.
Yeah. Well, because, at that time, you just kind of, people perhaps took it a little for granted. They were there every day for lunch,
Yep.
So, as we all do now. So let that be a lesson to all of us.
Yeah.
And speaking of which,
That's
go ahead.
Chaplin on the left and my grandfather on the right, and that is on the set of Gold Rush.
Wow. And again, Chaplin, out of character, many of us have only seen him in the movies, and
Yeah.
he
Sure.
looked different. So,
Definitely.
yeah. Two handsome guys taking a nice picture together.
I especially like that picture of Grandpa because
Yeah.
it's his intensity and the mustache.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's lighting
Yeah.
the cigarette, and it's like it's like a whole era,
Nice
Yeah.
job. All right. This is an interesting one. Tell us
That's
about it.
Grandpa when he first got to Paris when he was probably 20. They escaped from Romania because the pogroms, and that were in Romania, and I think his father got
The
killed.
programs. Do you want to tell people what the programs were?
It was like purges. In this case, it was Jewish people were being purged.
I think we should close it for a few minutes. Yeah. That's my neighbor's dog. Nothing is wrong.
Okay, I was going to say, is he okay?
I had the same concerns. Shout out to the adorable dog who lives next door. But when I didn't say that. It happened on its own. What I wanted to say was that I checked one time because I was worried, and they said that when he gets excited, and he gets excited outside,
He just yelps like
he
that.
yelps like that. And I checked it out. He was not only fine, he was just excited and running around the yard. So
Is it Louis?
no.
No.
It's the neighbor towards the other side. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now it's cool because even when your grandfather was younger in this picture, we can always find him because as long as he has that mustache, we can recognize him.
But also, he's kind of the only person who's interacting with the camera. It's like, go, Grandpa.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he knows he's an
You're right.
attractive guy, and he's zeroed in on the camera. Look at his body position. It could be a model.
Yeah.
The way he's holding
Kidding.
the way he's holding the
Oh,
pipe,
absolutely.
the the way he's,
absolutely.
and nobody
Sure.
else in the picture, who are kind of very interesting characters. And I've wondered if the poet Verlaine is sitting next to him,
Cool.
because he looks like him, but I'm not sure the timing is
Yeah,
right
it's
for
hard
it.
to know. Yeah.
But he's so magnetically on camera.
Right. No, it's
He's
true.
positioned his body. He's looking the right way.
He
his hands the
looks-
right- and
he-
nobody else is.
He
Yeah.
looks as he writes with magnetism.
Well, he went to Paris to become a musician originally. Actually,
Really? Oh, that's
So
right. He
that-
plays he played classical,
classical music. He played Bach organ. He played
Oh,
at Notre
my
Dame.
goodness.
He composed.
So, in his
yeah.
honor, we should get a little something to play when
little
we
Bach,
feature
yeah.
him. Yeah. All right. And this is at the
me
opening.
And Richard Carlin, who is the senior editor at SUNY Press, State University of New York Press, Excelsior
Nice.
Books, which published the book.
And that's the book in his
that's the book,
hand.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was at the opening at the Algonquin.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's
Just wonderful.
fantastic.
Thank you, Mirana. Let me see. I think that might be that was the last
Yep.
one. So I'm going to go back to
Yeah.
you.
Last but not least.
That is quite the photo, though.
I know people.
And there
Really.
are, and Mirana, you can, I think you're going to be singing again, so you can adjust the mic to be singing again.
Or is it pedestals?
I believe so, yes. Oh, that's a CD. Okay, so we can just sit and enjoy. Yeah, real quick because we're getting short on time.
Pedestal is definitely new, and it's maybe a little ragged at the end still, because it's got layers of stuff going on with it. But it's a premiere.
All right, Pedestal, new from Mirana Comstock.
It was a beautiful pedestal on a hill I built for you. Now you're gone from it, no longer on it, and I miss the view. I miss me and you. I miss you. I miss you. I miss you. It was a beautiful story I told for you, everyone we knew, but you rewrote every line, and I'm feeling like a fool for believing fairy tales come true. And I miss you. I miss you.
Nice. That's a radio premiere by Mirana Comstock, Pedestal. Nice job on that. And Mirana, the next song, Tim McKenney, our engineer at WATD, he recorded this song, and we are sending it out to... Oh, first I got to wait. Before I introduce it, I want to say hi to Ed from Plymouth, who I know is listening on Sunday night on the radio at the very least. And again, Miss Bridget as well. But we're sending this song out to you, Mirana, because everything you did this evening, from your singing, your dancing, your reading, your discussions, the whole thing, and your name dropping, you really lit up the studio here at Twilight Showcase. And yes, you can sing along.
I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl, I've got so much honey, the bees envy me. I've got a sweeter song than the birds in the trees. Well, I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl, ooh.
Oh, yeah, Tim McKenney. My God.
Tim.
And
Bravo. Great.
Tell him, Emily.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
It was
okay, we
awesome.
cut off the
Thank
little
you.
comments
From
at
the
the end,
press
but we'll
review.
catch him next
Right
time.
here, you picked this is like one of my top 3 karaoke
Really?
songs to sing.
All right, we caught it just in time for that. Well, that was the very first time that Tim did karaoke about 2 years ago. On the show that was in celebration of my 70th birthday. Oh, yeah. And I just love that song and I love that recording, so we will continue to play it. And we love what you did tonight, Mirana. Now, we're going to do the grand finale. Mississippi, if you can do a short one-liner, I'll have time to get in the song and say thank you afterwards.
Flip this around. Just kind of comes from, again, this was a lyrical thing. It came from the 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. When you're counting as a kid,
Yeah,
as somebody
we
is
figured.
hiding,
Yeah.
and it sort of like went into that. But then it sort of developed this Mississippi River Southern story around.
Well,
it
let's
somehow.
hear it.
Yeah,
I bet
yeah,
it's
yeah,
self-explanatory.
yeah.
We'll catch you on the
I'll
other
sing it.
side.
I'd rather sing it than say it.
Excellent.
One Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, more. Ooh, baby, that summer by the band, gone crazy, thought it would never end. Current was flowing, tall grass is blowing. Got to know him, new moon was rising, soft voices sighing, sweet secrets in the wind, wandering. How many Mississippis, how many Mississippis till he's gone. Ooh, baby, August is almost gone. No way, he won't soon be moving on. Hear the road humming, they're up and running. Why can't I know the night's calling, temperatures falling? So am I in a spin, wondering how many Mississippis, how many Mississippis till he's gone. Girl in slow motion, hoping the world will stand still. Close my eyes tight, dream of him tonight, maybe it will. One Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, more. Current is flowing, tall grass is blowing. Summer is coming, everything's glowing. New moon is rising, soft voices sighing. Where you been wandering, wondering how many Mississippis, how many Mississippis till he's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
is Mississippi, Mirana Comstock. Beautiful job.
Thank you.
We are going to go right into our thank yous, Keith, and then we're going to transition to our bonus tracks. So after the radio portion show ends, we're still going to stay on YouTube just for a few more songs, and we'll transition with Burning Bridges. But first, I want to say thank you so much to Mirana Comstock. Your grandfather, Konrad, say his last name?
Bercovici.
Thank you. Keith James, Tim McKenney, Janet Johnson, and a shout out and a thank you to Ed Perry. Keith, I think it's time to go.
Till next Thursday and Sunday. Note those twilight moments.
Where the darkness meets the dawn.
I'm Keith James.
This is Sandy Stride for Twilight Showcase Radio. See you next week.
You think with this flood of tears would have washed out a long time ago. After all these years, pent-up misery that just explode. You think with this anger smoldering inside that surely go up in smoke, but I can't seem to find a way to burn my bridges behind me. Passed over many times before, only to return to your side once more. It's what we built so strong, so long ago, so hard to destroy. What's between us can't seem to find a way to burn my bridges behind me. I always return, the only one who's burned. Gotta close that road, keep that gap deep and wide, 'cause the toll's too high to go back to your side. Like a magnifying glass, in my heart got to examine my past, learn to refocus the spark, and some new flames, and let them bring this span to an end, and then I'll be an island. I'll be safe and sound till I build something new, maybe to you, till it all comes down. Will it all come down? Till it all comes down, till it all comes down, till it all come down.
Burning Bridges,
Yeah.
Mirana Comstock. I love that song, Mirana. I really do.
I've actually worked on a more electronic version of that song. Maybe next time
I don't know if
I'll
I
bring
have
it.
that.
I don't think you do. I think it'd be
Okay.
interesting for people to hear
I would
where,
love to
where it's
hear
going.
it.
It's the same song, but it's with more keyboard and just
Yeah.
a fuller.
I would
fuller
love to
sound,
hear
just
it.
different.
Absolutely. I know a lot of the tracks tonight, we had heard the originals, but they're now
Yeah.
pumped up and so on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, it did really nice job. Now, we are now, I believe, in bonus tracks time. So that means the radio portion of the show has probably ended, and we are still on YouTube for just a couple of songs more. But first, I want to say again, thank you for an incredible
Well, thank you.
feature on Twilight Showcase.
Thank you for letting me share my work with your listeners.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
We were honored, and we really look forward to your turn. We have to do some planning for, and I did get, I didn't get a chance to show it, but I did get on Amazon your grandfather's biography that he wrote.
Oh, it's the Gypsy in Me, is that?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the Gypsy.
See in Me.
It's
yeah.
the Gypsy and Me,
Yeah.
and it's the autobiography of Konrad. I'll never say it correctly, so I always let you say it.
Bercovici.
But it was interesting because it was put out by a group that puts out classics that are now in public domain, but that are considered to be so important in terms of being classics.
Yeah.
That they reproduce it and make it available, which I was thrilled. So I was able to get it on
Yeah.
Amazon because I thought I might not. So I've only just, read a little bit of it. But thank you.
That book ends with a Hitler reference. So
I'm definitely going to
yeah.
be checking
yeah,
that
that's
out.
I think
Yeah.
the last comment in there.
So perhaps we'll read something from this book when we do a feature on
Sure.
him, and
Absolutely.
perhaps you'll have some other things, the articles and so on. As time goes on, just start sending whatever you feel comfortable sending.
Sure.
And I'll keep a
Love to.
library of it.
Well, it keeps him alive,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure does.
Yeah,
It's the work.
and we're real big on feeling that people on the other side are still doing great work. That's been our experience. And thank you, those that we asked to assist with the technology. I didn't want to jinx it and say anything till
Appreciate
now.
your support.
We do. And,
Houdini, thank you.
Yes. Houdini was messing with us tonight, that's for sure.
And I don't think it's a coincidence that you just happened to call me after we hadn't talked in a couple of years since you were last on about his new book. And at this, it's always wonderful to have you, but the things you brought to us in addition to your music, the book and everything about your grandfather, very, very almost eerie that the associations with things that are going on now. And it's nice to have those that we cared about who were strong the first time.
Yeah.
That our grandparents, in some cases parents, grandparents, or great-grandparents were going through difficult times, standing up against fascism. And we were successful. They were successful the first time, and I can see a lot of signs that we're being successful now, and it's just another support for those who don't give up, okay? So thank you for, just by coincidence, deciding to ask me if I wanted to know about the book.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Timing.
Yeah, and I love just talking with you too, so do keep
Yeah.
in touch, okay?
Absolutely.
I don't know if you had I don't know if you wanted to sing anymore, but if you just want a CD, there is a favorite of mine, I believe. Hang on, let me get, Rock in a Hard Place? I think that's an older one. That's quite
That you could play without me
Are you
singing along. I think
either way, or
it's
if you would rather?
it's an acoustic track, same as Burning Bridges as it.
But
was
it's got the
acoustic.
full CD on it,
I think
right?
it does, yeah.
Okay, but if
So-
there's something you would like to sing, I can always do that one afterwards, so I don't want to stop you from... You might be a little tired.
I'm good.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Okay. I don't want to hog the mic,
I don't know. Doing all
Give
you
somebody
did.
else a chance. I
Doing-
think Janet wants to sing something.
Well, you know what?
Janet, all
Janet,
right.
do you sing? And are you doing okay? Yeah. No, she's allergic to cats, and so she's protecting herself. The cats are sleeping in the other room, but still, I, for one, know a lot about living with allergies, and we appreciate you putting up with it. But you're feeling okay. That's the. Yeah, good. I'm glad that's working. Take a few home with you. But really, it's been delightful having you here. You did add a lot to the show, I have to admit. Just the feeling of a live audience, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta have somebody
And
in
a
the audience.
responsive audience, yeah.
If
Well,
we're
yeah.
going to have an audience, we might as well have Janet. I
Yes.
mean,
That's right.
you know,
Yeah, and there's a glow. Well, she's glowing. You're glowing when you're performing. Keith, I saw you glowing too.
Now and then.
This whole room is like. And I know that the dog in the next yard was just thinking it was wonderful.
I think he was singing along.
Yeah,
I
probably
think so too. He could. I'm sure he had no problem hearing
Three Dog
it.
Night, I think, was.
Yeah, right. That's one of his favorites.
They were out there.
That was great. Oh, what a fun evening. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube, yes, there are some technical. You get to see what it's like behind the scenes. We had some technical problems as well as just a mistake on my part when we had a false start. And although we will edit the audio, the YouTube video at this time, at any rate, will stay just as it is. That was actually great how you started it. There was no problem. It was just we had not. Oh no, they won't see it on YouTube because I had forgotten to turn it on. Forget everything I said. I just made that up.
I would blame Houdini for it. Just, it wasn't you. It was Harry.
Oh, that's one thing I've tried to do on this show is when I mess up, I'm going to take the blame. But everybody really came together in a beautiful way today, and I'm eternally grateful. Now, then maybe we'll play Between a Rock and a Hard Place, and then something to end with. I have a fun idea, but I don't know if it's one you want, Keith. Let me tell us a little about A Rock and a Hard Place.
It's an acoustic track, and it's rock and a heart place, not rock
Oh,
and a hard
I'm
place.
sorry. That's right. It
Which
was
is I'm not correcting you. I'm just saying
right.
that's the trick in there, and it's got sort of a country quality to it. I think.
Rock and a Heart Place.
Yeah.
That is very clever.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. I can't move, I can't choose either you or you. Got everything to lose, but maybe that's the only way of finding me. Maybe I ought to break away, or maybe I ought to stay. Maybe I ought to leave well enough alone one more day. Between these comforts I've come to need guarantees, a place to lean that's safe and warm. Torn between the calm and the storm, things I think and feel, what I dream and what is real. Maybe I ought to know by now what soothes will always heal. Maybe I ought to go by now, but somehow I'm still here. Maybe I ought to stay, maybe just one more day. Outside my door, my heart's beating a path. Should I stop and ask why, or should I follow? Stuck between a rock and a hard place, so I can't move, I can't choose either you or you. Or you, either you or you.
I love
Nice.
that song. And it's so clever. I love it, okay? wait a second, hold up the mic, and I'm putting you on camera. Hold up the mic and say that again, because she might want to quote you someday.
I love it. Great song.
Got to give.
Great song.
Yeah, hold that closer.
Great
Here.
song.
See, we
Love
heard
it.
Thank you.
Truly.
heard-
Loved it.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
Beautiful
That's
song.
Rick on guitar on that.
Oh,
Figure.
nice.
Yeah, that's-
nice.
It's a very, much as he was a rocker, he was a very good acoustic player.
And let me say also a thank you to Rick, who I'm
Yes.
sure was listening, and
yeah.
thank you for that suggestion,
kidding.
Rick, because I love that song, and it shows off his beautiful. He played both electric and acoustic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And well, and very,
Very well,
well.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh my goodness, what a nice evening. Keith, is there something you either want to play or want me to play? Because my idea, I don't think I'm in the mood for right now. But what did you have anything in mind that you would like to hear of ours, or is there anything you feel like playing?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
Do I have anything else in mind, though? No,
Let's
not
see. I
really.
brought
Do
up a few here. I've got for humor. I have Everything Never Gets Finished. I have Not Just Sleeping. I have Don't Say a Word. I have Sail On with the orchestration. I suppose that one never gets old, huh?
Yeah, it never does.
And I
yeah.
have The Actor. Are you in the mood for Sail On?
Sail On be good.
I don't know if
Sure.
you've heard this yet. This is kind of a classic song of inspiration. I'm not sure. You might have already heard it. But for these times, it's helpful. It was originally inspired by the people who spoke at the eulogy for Ted Kennedy,
Yes,
correct?
yeah, yeah,
So
took
it's
me
based
back,
on
yeah.
true stories, but it's become really an anthem of inspiration. And this version is Keith doing the lead, and then you did a long distance orchestration on it with your friend,
Yep.
and his name is?
His name is Kerry Rich. And he and I used to play together along with my brother.
Yeah, and he plays
And,
keyboard.
a long time ago, back
Key-
in my 20s, you know.
Keyboard, and he added keyboard and harmony. And I know that his wife, Hope, shout out to her
Yeah.
because she's been extremely supportive. And the beginning, it seems like it's not coming on, but in fact, he's got the seagulls in the background before it starts. So we'll catch you guys on the other side of this. Sail On.
When the waves are high and the winds are strong, a bitter cold sea mist, daylight is all but gone, and you head straight into the storm, and you feel like you will never make it home. Sail on, sail on, sail on, sail on. There's a hill you climb, but you fall. Without this leg, I'll never make it at all. Through all the tears and all the pain, we will climb together all the way. Now take my hand and sail on, sail on, sail on, sail on through the stormy seas to where the water meets the sky. Sail on beneath the sunset of a rose-purple night. When the sun, the moon, the stars won't do little limit the way, you keep drifting in and out, and you can't see what's ahead. Sail on, sail on,
And that was Keith James. He wrote the song, and he wrote the lyrics, he wrote the music, and he performed it beautifully. And
Beautiful
again,
song, Keith. Beautiful.
Wonderful song.
Beautiful song.
thank you, thank you. And
Thank you very much.
we didn't plan it, but I think it was the perfect song for tonight.
I think it
And-
was.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
after what I said to you, and a thanks going out to Konrad as well as the others on the other side
Yeah,
who are
definitely.
supporting us. And really, we got a lot of help.
That's good because we need a lot of
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, and thank the audience for tuning in, both on the radio and on
Round of
YouTube.
applause for the audience.
Yeah.
Yay, for the
Absolutely.
audience.
And remember, if you're watching on YouTube, you can still hear it with the, at the edited version on WATT and 959WATT.com Sunday night, 8 to 10 p.m. You can listen to it, and of course, you can watch this video or tell other people about it anytime. You can watch it on my YouTube page. The shortcut is Sandy and Keith or keithandsandy.com. Okay? Thank you all. Have a wonderful night. And we'll see you all next week.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night.
Everyone.